right now I'm just enjoying this really strong sun, to get vitamin D. And I always say, vitamin D is a very, very important vitamin. It's practically impossible to get it from foods, So the only way you can get it is from the sun or supplements, And if you're up in the mountains, you should take the sun like this. It's glorious. It's beautiful weather, right? But if you're in the city, I understand I cannot sit in the sun like this, But then you should supplement because it's important. But I think importantly to know if you're vitamin D deficient, and a simple test will help you find out. I was talking to a friend of mine who actually owns several diagnostic centers in Mumbai, and I was just chatting with him, and curiously I asked him what is the percentage of people that test vitamin D deficiencies, and he said 85%, more than that sometimes, So that's actually a really big problem, that we have very high number of vitamin D deficiencies. And because a vitamin D deficiency doesn't create instant health problem, we don't take it seriously. But it is a very important vitamin for the body, and it's just something that we have to be very conscious of, and really want to correct our levels, do the test and understand it, Ever since I was talking to somebody and said about 14 years ago, I started to get these aches and pains from nowhere, I'd wake up in the morning and suddenly my joint would pain, or my, fingers would pain, and I started to think, wow, 14 years ago I was much younger, and I thought, what's going on, am I sick, or it's, and what we do sometimes is when we get these aches and pains for a few days, we run to the doctor and take some medication, and sometimes it's not necessary to take medication unnecessarily. If you're sick, you should, if you're seriously sick, you should. But if you're just having some simple aches and pains, I think it's the body's way of showing us that there is a problem, so correct it, So I went and did a vitamin D deficiency test, and I was really low, and I started to take supplements. I started correcting it. Wherever I could get the sun, I would take the sun. And don't be shy of tanning, because I understand that it's a great need to be fair skinned, but I think to be healthy is more important than being fair skinned, and I think it's great if you're fair skinned and beautiful, and it's all good, But for me personally, I would sit in the sun and not really worry about tanning or becoming, dark skin, but I would really soak in the sun as much as I could for my good health, and that is something we have to prioritize over external looks, if you ask me, And if you have a strong body, then you can do much with your external looks, But if you don't have a strong body, if you're aching and paining, and it's hard. So 14 years ago, I was getting these aches and pains, and it's amazing how I did a vitamin D deficiency test and found out I was low. I started to supplement, and voila, before I knew it, it was all correct, and the aches and pains just disappeared. I was really feeling fatigued, actually. A lot of times it was just tiredness out of nowhere. I hadn't done anything during the day, and I was just tired. And I corrected my vitamin D levels, and I was not tired anymore. So it's something you want to really focus on. It is important. It is important if you have elderly parents. It's important to do tests for them, and to understand if you get the vitamin D levels to optimum levels, they will have less fatigue, less pains, less aches. If you have young children, it's very, very important to think of their vitamin D levels too, you know. I actually have my children sit out in the sun like this up here for 5 to 7 minutes every day, you know. And do they like it? No, they don't. But you know, you give them some reward at the end of it and they'll do it, you know. It's only 7 minutes. It's not a whole day, you know. So, but you see, we have to have a desire to do uncomfortable things to get good health, you know. And so I really strongly urge, this is just live from the mountains of Himachal Pradesh, and you know, I just want to give you one message. Vitamin D is an important vitamin. If this video is helpful, hit the share button and share it with a friend.